Welcome to Connecting Greeks, a streaming comedy show and podcast designed to explore and enhance Greek culture around the world. Join hosts Angelo, Ari, and Foti as they bring you fun and interesting guests from all walks of Greek life. Grab a kafedaki and join us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us once again on the Connecting Greek show. We have an amazing show today. I'm super excited about this one. When we find talented, cool, beautiful, just so many words can describe this guest that we have today. It just makes me so excited to be able to, whoever doesn't know her, I'm sure many out there will know of her, but if you don't, get ready for a treat. She is amazing. She's so talented. I was listening to her music earlier. The video, oh my God, great video. But anyway, I'm not going to spoil too much. I'm going to pass it over to my co-host, Foti. And Foti, please introduce this wonderful guest we have today.
Absolutely, Ari. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction, because I like it when you're excited, because when you're not excited, it's not going to be a good show. But the fact that you're excited,
sometimes
you're a great show.
A lot of people can tell when I'm really excited, when I'm not. And I've noticed that in past episodes. But yes, thank God I am super excited today because it's going to be a good one.
And as Connecting Greeks, obviously, our goal here is to bring Greeks together from all over the world who have special talents, who make big impacts. And we're so proud that as Greeks from America, the fact that we're coming across so many other Greeks that are doing great things just makes us even more prouder, if that's the word to use, right? So without wasting any more time, let's bring onto the show recording artist, songwriter, and just an amazing person, Evangelia. Evangelia, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. I appreciate you guys.
Our pleasure, our pleasure. You know, it's great to see aspiring Greeks in every field, and the fact that you're in, the music industry, and the fact that you have such a unique talent for singing and performing. Obviously, as Greeks in our culture, dancing and music is part of growing up, and I'm sure you have plenty of experiences as a youngster, whether it was at home or with yayas and papudis at home, or going to Greek school, or the Greek parades, or the Greek dance groups. We can go on and on and on. I'm sure there must have been some impact growing up. But what we wanted you to do for us is give us a little bit about your background, where you grew up, what part of Greece you're from, and so forth.
Awesome. It's so nice to hear people list out all those things that I completely relate to, by the way. This is very refreshing to talk to you. So I was born in New Jersey. My mom is Italian-American, which makes me a quarter Italian, the way that worked out. And my father is from the island of Crete in Greece, very proudly from Nomokanion and Kanya. And basically a month after I was born, my parents took me to meet my father's family in Crete. And from then on, I basically spent my life going back and forth for significant amounts of time. Like sometimes it was even beyond just the summer, but it was always at least the entire summer, to the point where I would leave school a few days early and enter late too. I'd always miss anything that happened in the beginning of the year because I was like, I want to be in Greece, and my family was down for that education that we got. Being, on the farm with Yaya is basically how things were for me. I lived with my Yaya, Evangelia. I was named after her, and a lot of my inspiration is from her and my experiences with her, and my family in Greece. So.
Awesome.
It's so funny to hear you say you spent the whole summers there and sometimes left school early and sometimes were late, because that literally is like a mirror of how I grew up as well. Exact same thing.
We're so lucky.
Right? And all my friends are like, how are you doing that? And I was like, well, we got to go to Greece. It's not even a question. And we want to go as long as possible.
And your parents are okay with this? My parents fully support this. Yes. They know I'll catch up. I did okay. I was fine.
Yeah. Never a problem. That's amazing. So you obviously were influenced by this type of upbringing, and it sounds like your grandmother was a big influence.
Yeah.
Is did you learn any sort of like music from her, or was she just kind of inspirational in general?
She was inspirational in general. She ran the olive oil and the olive groves and the farm all on her own. She was widowed at like 40, and just was one of the strongest people I've ever met in my life, period. And just so hardworking and determined. So just learning about work ethic from her in terms of whatever it was that I would do came from her. And then also she loved critica, rizitica, that really traditional music. And she was so proud that I loved it too. And that I loved dancing. And, you know, at a certain point, she couldn't come to the panegirya anymore. And I would come home and she would say, Bagilio, you know, like, did you do your little tricks and stuff? Did you dance in the front? Did you make the family proud, basically, you know? And I was like, yeah, I sure did, you know, and dedicated it to you. And so, yeah, she was a big influence. And then also my father, it was so important for him to keep us really close to the culture. I grew up with him being the cultural chairperson of the Pan-Cretan Association of America. So very proudly bringing over all sorts of cultural events to the United States to tour, not just in New Jersey, but go to all the different chapters around the country. So I've had musicians, theater people, you name it, staying at my house since I was younger, and just being around all types of Greek culture and music and appreciation for it. So
that's so cool.
Yeah.
It sounds so cool to like hear you describe that, because I could almost picture it in my head. And that's very cool about your dad. I don't know if has he ever come to Boston for any of the Cretan stuff? Because I think we have a pretty big population here.
I'm sure we did. I've even been to I was involved in the Pan-Cretan youth, and I still am as much as possible. But I remember going up to a convention up in, I think it was Springfield is where the chapter is, if I remember correctly. So yeah, definitely just very in touch and very proud and appreciating of the importance of keeping our culture close. Because it's hard, you know, here in the US, you're around so many different cultures, and that's amazing. It's something I absolutely love about living here, is the exposure to all of that. But in that, you also have to work a little bit harder to keep what's close to you close, and also sharing it with people.
So I saw with other people that this is true, and I want to know with you, whenever your parents may be from different cultural backgrounds, it always seems like the Greek is the dominant one. And your dad's Cretan, so that makes it like extra dominant. Do you find that was the same thing in your upbringing?
Yes, that was absolutely true. But what I will say and give my mom credit for is that she loves the Greek culture and the Cretan culture, and she actually learned the language. So she can have a pretty full conversation in Greek, even better than some Greek Americans that I know. And she's not even, you know, by blood. And she was all for us going to Greece and fully supported. And, you know, with her, I think it was nice marrying into such a strong culture when she did, because the Italian side had been kind of lost generationally. It was my great-grandfather that came here. And unfortunately, it was also a time when immigrants didn't want to keep their culture with their children, because they didn't want their children to be harassed or bullied for it. So unfortunately, that language and a lot of it was lost. And for me, I have to go out of my way to connect with my Italian roots, in a sense. Like I've taken Italian because I wanted to learn it. Now I speak it, not the way I speak Greek or English, but I just had to try a little harder. So, but yeah, the Greek was definitely much more dominant and much closer, especially because my entire dad's immediate family is in Greece still, you know, so.
That's really cool. And it's great to hear that your mom was so accepting of it. And, you know, it's better that she didn't fight it, because she's not going to win against a Cretan, but the fact that she embraced it makes it all the better.
There was
so that's such a great story about your younger days. So why don't you bring us a little bit more to the current? How did you kind of get into music, and how did that go from getting into it to actually making it like a career?
Yeah, so it's been a journey. In some ways, it feels like some things have happened quickly, but if I really think about it, it's all been kind of brewing for many years of efforts and things. But I always wanted to be it was always a dream of mine to be a singer. And I would, draw in my journal, like, oh, I want to be a singer. Like when they would ask me in third grade, what do you want to be? I'd be like, a singer. And then I started writing my own songs in high school, and then in college I went to Rutgers in New Jersey, and I started doing any open mic that I could. I started hosting my own open mic nights, and then I started kind of getting opportunities that kind of scared my dad at the time, because he was like, excuse me, this is a great hobby and I fully support the arts. However, keyword is hobby, and let's not get too crazy over here. You get your degree and do what you got to do, get that check every month, stable, whereas my mom, the kind of more American side, was like, go for your dreams, do what you want to do. So there was kind of some tension in that area, but I followed this path of stability, and I got my master's in elementary special ed, something that I loved and do still love. And honestly, if I wasn't doing music, the only other thing I could really see myself doing is being a teacher. I really, really liked it. And so I taught for 3 years, and after school, I spent every minute that I could doing music and I was teaching in New Jersey and going into like Brooklyn and New York and networking and writing songs and recording and rehearsing and putting on shows and doing things super independently. And things were starting to brew. And my dad also started seeing how hard I was working, and also seeing that, oh, this doesn't sound bad. It's kind of has something going for her here. And at the end of my third year, there were budget cuts in my district, and I was laid off. I wasn't tenured yet, so me and a lot of the younger teachers lost our jobs. And it was terrifying, but it also felt like a relief in a sense, because I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have to choose to quit.
Maybe that was a blessing in disguise.
To see what happens, because I was wondering, I got to a point where I remember looking at my classroom while my students were at lunch being like, oh, what would happen if I gave music 100%? But will I ever know? I want to know, but I can't leave this. What am I going to do? And then I was literally laid off the next day. So I kind of went in with blind faith. My mom was like, go for it. This is your chance. And even my dad at that point saw how hard I was working. And I told him, Baba, I have one life and I really want to do this. And he was like, all right, I support you. Give yourself a couple years and see what happens. And so I went in blind, and a couple months later, I met Jay Stolar, who is my life partner, non-Greek. But we met and we fell in love, and he's an incredible songwriter and producer. And for the first few months of us dating, we were like, okay, we should not work together, because that could be the end of everything and maybe not work. But there's just so much creative chemistry that it was just impossible at a certain point. Mm-hmm. And I was at a point where I really needed to figure out what I was going to do and how I was going to make my mark in the music industry and have my own voice and my own sound. Because up until then, I was kind of doing more just guitar, singer, songwriter things. I wasn't really incorporating my Greek roots besides talking about it. We kind of had this idea together of wait a second, Evangelia was like, you are always talking about Greece. You're always cooking Greek things. You've shown me this music. You're so proud. You love to dance. We should do this. And we had the idea together of what happens if we tried to blend both of my worlds, and what does that sound like? We had no idea if it would even work. But yeah, so then I put together a Google Doc with links to some of my favorite Greek songs and instruments and all this stuff. And then we set up some sessions with some amazing producers and songwriters where I went in, I kind of presented my culture and showed examples and talked about it. And then we wrote songs inspired by by it so that we could have music that truly felt authentic to me, because I also very much am a New York City, New Jersey, like American girl, but I'm also a girl from the Choreo and from Crete who loves to go to Panigirya and dance and Buzukia and all of the above. And it was quite an experiment trying to find that balance. But once we found it, it just clicked. And for the first time, I was like, wow, I've really found something that feels so true to me. And then everything kind of followed. It was like, I was like, oh my God, this whole time, all I had to be was myself. Like that's, how did I not figure that out? But it took all that time to figure it out, you know? And Jay, not Greek, but plays bouzouki, so he's on all the tracks.
I was gonna say he has a bit of a resume too, so it's not like you guys were just like starting this out. He kind of knows what he's doing, and he probably has a good ear for it, and that makes a good combination for the two of you. Yeah. Even if he's not Greek, I mean, the talent is all you need, and you could make anything sound exactly the way you want it to. Yeah, the talent. And judging from the videos I've seen, I mean, I think you guys pretty much nailed it right on the head. I mean, I get such dance vibe, pop vibe, Greek vibe, and not just like Greek, but like it has like kind of that like outside of American sound, and I love it. It's great. You guys are doing good stuff.
Thank you. It's been so much fun and just really cool to see it come to life. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah. So that led you up to this becoming pretty much a career, and so now you said you're living in LA. Did you move there for the career advancement?
Yeah. So
like you kind of have to be in LA, right?
Yeah. Pretty much. Everybody's out of New York and everybody's in LA. It also kind of worked out in the pandemic for us because it's a much better place to have been quarantined than in New York, in my humble opinion, because I don't like the winter. So I'm enjoying my time here in LA. But yeah, and basically once we had the sound, then, you know, moved to LA to keep kind of cultivating it, but then also wanted to really connect with Europe and kind of break the sound out there and really connect to Greece and Greeks in the diaspora like you all. And I got very, very fortunate, and I signed my record deal with Sony Music out of Germany in February 2020, just a couple weeks before the world shut down, you know, and I was just...
man. How different would that have been if it was delayed a little bit?
Oh my God, I had all these plans for PAME PAME to go and like tour around in Greece and do radio stations and do all that. But you know what? It's all good. Everything, I'm very blessed that I was able to sign my record deal right before and kind of be comfortable and take that time in the pandemic to hone in even more on my art and what I want to do as things open up.
That's a good silver lining right there.
Yeah. So and I have Panic Records in Greece. It's all the different Sony affiliates in the different territories. So it's just been really cool.
I got some questions for you, Evangelia.
Yeah.
Growing up, in the American scene and also in the Greek scene, who were some of your inspirations from musicians in the U.S. growing up that really inspired you as well?
So I feel like you can't hear this in my music, or maybe you can in terms of soul. But I loved, like, on the American side, like Ray Charles and Aretha Franklin and like that
interesting.
Of music so much, because it has so much soul and you could just feel so much just by one note that these people were singing. I just absolutely adore it. And I think what I take from it, you know, you wouldn't necessarily like connect it to my music, but I think what I take from it as influence is just really feeling what I'm singing, even though I might not be singing crazy big notes like Aretha or anything, but they have everything be very true. So yeah, on the American side, I would say that. And a lot of that came from my mom, actually. She loved that kind of music.
Cool.
So,
wow.
And
And
on the Greek side, I mean, we had Vespina Vanvi bumping in the car all the time, that album like in the early 2000s. And then, of course, all sorts of Kritika from Garganuraki, and Poulopoulos, so many old, like Manos Loizos, Theodorakis, all those like kind of classics, like take each different like kind of genre of Greek music, and we definitely had it on some mix CD that my dad put together in the car.
But it sounds like the soul is it, like whether it's Greek or American, that soulful music is something that touches you.
Yeah, totally. Just something that feels honest and that feels real and moving. Is very inspiring to me.
Yeah.
So, have you performed in Greece since the career kicked off?
No, not yet. I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay.
I've been to Greece twice in the last 5 months, which has been amazing. Kind of makes up for the lost time that I couldn't go in 2020. But I went in July. I filmed a couple music videos and stopped by again in September. Working on some things that I can't quite reveal just yet.
That's fine.
But there will be a performance in Greece soon.
Oh, very cool.
But you'll let us know so that we can let the audience know through here.
Yes, I will let you know when I can. But it's very exciting stuff. Yes, I'm so excited.
How did you find the vibe to be in Greece? Was the vibe getting better? Was it still kind of in that unknown, like what's going to happen? When are we going to open up? How are we going to get back to life?
Well, when I was there, it was summer. It was like, I went in July and then I went also in September, which I think would consider both of those kind of still the summer tourist season. So a lot was open. And just kind of like mask in a store or something like that. But it felt very open and kind of free, especially like just walking around outdoors. You don't really need a mask for that anymore. So it felt good. It felt like things were on their way, and hopefully they continue to just keep getting better.
Awesome.
Yeah, because we talk to so many like artists, performers, different types of people that are in the business of being in front of an audience, and this whole last year is just like so much talent in front of us, and nobody could do what they're supposed to be doing. And we're going to add you to that list because such a great talent you have, and you should be in front of lots and lots and lots of people. And of course, you could do it virtually, but getting that live, especially somebody who feels the music and the soul of it, like you are the type of person that should be in front of an audience. Like you got to get back out there, and I hope that happens sooner than later.
I can't wait to do it in front of like actual real human beings, and to like make eye contact. It's the best, you know.
And you get to feed off of the crowd, you know.
Yeah, it's the best. There's nothing like it. It's one of my favorite things. Just connecting with an audience. It's the best.
What about Evangelia? Can you tell us a little bit about your two hits that we love listening to, Fotia and PAME PAME?
Yeah. So PAME PAME was the first song that I released, and it was one of the first songs also that just felt very like, guys, we did it. We found the recipe. This is the sound, and kind of one of the first songs presented. And I actually shot the music video for PAME PAME in Crete, in my yaya's farmhouse.
Oh, cool.
And also in the village of Paliochora. I threw a party, the PAME PAME party, essentially, that we filmed. And I had my friend DJ it and play, obviously, like my songs to be lip sync to, but I also had him play all types of music that I loved, even Kritika, Kalamachiano, like everything. So that to like really, it was like a real party, and it was just family and friends in the village came. And so if you watch that video, those are like real people. Nobody's an actor. It's just Jeffy, which is what I wanted to show. And I remember some of my younger friends that I was inviting are like, oh, my mom wants to come, but like I told her it's like a music video, like she can't come. I was like, no, dude, your mom can totally come, and so can your yaya. Like bring them all. Like everybody's welcome here. Okay, it's a family affair. So that was really, really fun. And then with Fotia, I love that song. We wrote it the day after I signed my record deal in Germany with this amazing producer and songwriter called Alexis Troy, and he happens to be half German, half Greek. And it was like such an amazing thing working also with somebody who like actually speaks Greek. So co-writing with him was awesome, and Jay was there, and Jay still played that bouzouki. And in that video, I wanted to kind of showcase Uzbekistan in a somewhat like abstract way. And so you'll see me kind of doing some Uzbekistan moves in that video, and it's kind of like if you know, you know. Like if you're Greek, you know that move. If you're not, you're like, that's kind of interesting.
That's amazing. Do you find that the Greek influence is helpful to pursue your career? Do you think it's something that like is important to you to portray those Greek roots, or would you just, like, if somebody said you can't do a Greek sound anymore, you're going to be straight pop, like would that like completely like crush you, or is that it's just something that you would like to do but it's not something that you have to do?
At this moment in time, I would say like, no way, I don't want to do that. I want to continue on this path that I'm on because it's, again, like I said, it feels the most true to who I am. Like there's two worlds living inside of me, and I kind of think, and to be honest, in my music, it's like, you know, sometimes there's a little bit more Greek influence or a little bit less or whatever, but I think just swimming around in this world is what makes sense for me right now. Because I actually have had somebody say like, oh, I don't know, why don't you just do like a regular like pop song or something? And I was like, why? That's not me. Yeah. And like, that's not gonna, like, who's gonna care? Like, who's gonna, you know? And I'm very, like, sorry.
I was just going to say that there's a lot of that, and you're unique. And I think that's just very cool. And I think that again, I can't speak on behalf of younger audiences, but it seems to me that, you know, their exposure is so much, you know, internet, phones, everything is like right there, instantly accessible. So it's like you need something unique to break through. And I think that that's something very cool about what you're doing. It has that unique flavor, but it's familiar enough for anybody who's a pop fan or a dance music fan, or, you know, but it has that little spice, that little flavor, you know, that I think adds a lot to it.
Seasonings, you know, it's not more. Gotta make it tasty.
Exactly.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And it's true. And it's something like when it finally clicked, because not only did it just feel true to me, it was like, oh, this is like, I have my thing now. Like, this is a unique thing that it was almost like when I was in the discovery period of figuring out, okay, what am I going to do? Because also like time was a ticking, and I really wanted to make this work and not have to go back to the classroom without feeling like, okay, I really gave it a shot. And it just clicked and made sense to go this route. So, and I was like, oh, this is it.
That intuition.
Huh?
Follow that intuition. I mean, it's, you know, a lot of us, we second guess things and we think about it, we overthink it, overanalyze. But if that feeling is there and you go with it, we've seen so many successes, because if you follow that feeling, usually most of the times, if not all the times, there's always great outcomes.
Yeah. Just the guy, and it's also a long game too. I think in a way, what's in some ways challenging about what I'm doing is that it doesn't really exist, this genre in particular. And I think it just is gonna talk about it like with my career, that it's a marathon and not a sprint. And really, and like recognizing that and have the patience to be okay with that, and knowing that in the long run it all is for the best, essentially. And because we're definitely not following a trend, we're just kind of doing our own thing. I mean, there's a challenge in that because you have to wait a little bit, but it's been really, really amazing getting the response, and people talking to people like you, and as more and more people slowly like find out, it's just felt so gratifying and just really amazing. Gives me so much like hope and excitement for the future to come.
It is absolutely unique. It is unique. We've talked to like pop singers who are Greek, but they only do straight like American pop, and then we've talked to pop singers who only do Greek. So Greek people who do music are out there, but what you're doing, there's such a like cool. I mean, everybody out there, right now, just stop what you're doing. Actually, finish watching the interview and listening, and then go to YouTube and like just watch her videos, listen to the songs. Like you will get such. If you're sitting down after, I'll put money down that you won't be sitting down, because it just has such a catchy. And if you're Greek too, like you just get all the flavor.
We would have loved to have Evangelia back in the our days of Greek nights and Greek nightclubs.
That'd be so fun.
You would have. It would have been just game.
We used to bring singers to these big Greek nights, and it was like just a blast. You would have been a killer.
That sounds so fun.
On that note, Ari, we should bring him back.
I was gonna say, let's bring that back.
Bring it back. Because there's definitely quote unquote more of us, obviously, because we're much older, so there's definitely a bigger audience. So we definitely need to we got to work on that, Ari.
Yeah, we absolutely should. Once things open up, we have to do it, because it used to be so much fun. Just getting all the Greeks together, just getting that whole vibe in the building, and then having a live performer just like tearing it up. And again, like I watch your videos. I was scrolling through your Instagram as well, and I'm like, you would just kill it. You would just kill it. It would be so cool. So that's the mission. The mission is we got to bring that back.
Yes. That's awesome.
Definitely, as as Evangelia has mentioned, now that we've actually created a nice relationship with Evangelia, we're definitely gonna bring you back constantly, if without being too pushy, and would love for you to constantly update us, releases, what have you. But is there anything that you want to also include in this interview with us about anything in the near future, anything in the pipeline that you might want to
Well, there is something she said she can't mention, so we'll put that on the back burner until she can. But anything that if you can mention, let us know what's coming up.
Well, another cool thing that has happened, and I think also as a result of the type of music that I make, is I am an official candidate to represent Greece or Cyprus in Eurovision. So nothing's official. We just are crossing our fingers, and we're just waiting right now. But yeah, I was officially nominated by Panic Records and submitted 3 songs as options, and all of them have some traditional.
You would be perfect for this.
And the truth is, I honestly, when I started this, I did not think about Eurovision. But if you do go into YouTube and look at the majority of the comments, they're all like, Eurovision, do Eurovision, do Eurovision. And I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I'll do Eurovision. And it just kind of came up. So yeah, now I'm one of the candidates up to represent them. But it's in the hands of ERT, basically. So we'll see.
So
what happens.
It's not like a public voting thing. It's just a handful of like record execs that choose this.
No, not record execs. It's like the TV. It's like the national. It's like the public television. It's like they're the Eurovision committee, and they choose who represents Greece. It's been very
how
interesting.
How can we influence this? Like, we got to do some campaigns and like push people to get it, like to convince these other people. Because honestly, like, again, if you haven't seen it, like, watch her videos, watch Fotiat. Like, that screams Eurovision to me now that you mentioned it. I didn't think about it before, but now that you mentioned it, it totally does.
So we'll see. I would really love to go this year. Also, the fact that it's going to be held in Italy makes me very excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, a reason to use my Italian, and let's get that Italian vote, because the countries can't vote for each other either. But yeah, it would be such a dream, and just to perform on that stage, you reach so many people, and also the songs. In different interviews, like specifically about Eurovision, a lot of people have asked me like, oh, like, what's your, what did you do for the Eurovision song? And I'm like, honestly, I didn't really do anything different. I just wrote music for me, for my album, for future singles, and chose what I thought would be the strongest 3 for Eurovision. Because if I go on that stage, I need to be myself and be my true artist self and kind of do a performance that I would do, whether it was on Eurovision or some other stage, in a way, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't try to write a song for Eurovision and put that kind of pressure on it. So I think all the songs feel very authentic and true. And as a result, the performance will come across that way if I go.
Absolutely.
So.
I mean, we are definitely keeping our fingers crossed for you.
Thank you. Yeah, so we'll see. That's kind of, what's coming up. I do have a new single that'll be coming out sometime in November. I'll let you know.
Yes.
And then a special surprise sometime in December, which I will let you know about.
Awesome.
And in the meantime, we just wait and see if Eurovision happens. That's going to definitely,
Sure.
affect my plans for 2022. So.
I mean, you get into Eurovision. I mean, that boosts you onto like the world stage. Like, that's pretty huge. That would be so cool. And we need a Greek to win.
I would love
always
to, I'll do my best, but it would be so cool.
We'll definitely support you in every step of the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, if it didn't happen, like, there's absolutely no stopping you, but if it does happen, that would be really cool.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, I put it in my head. I'm like, you know what? Whatever's meant to be will be. Either way, I'm going to continue on my path, and music will be released, and it's all going to just keep going.
Just the fact that you said that the TV, whoever people of Erta, the ones that choose it, it's like, okay, how are they qualified to choose who's going to represent? I mean, shouldn't it be voting or something?
You got to change the politics in that one, buddy.
There's a lot of politics that go into it. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. I have a chance. There's also a chance I could go with Cyprus as well, which would be really, really amazing. And I also just think as like a Hellenic Greek person growing up in the US, like, you just feel a connection to both Greece and Cyprus. And also, like, I feel like Crete and Kipro, we just have like this understanding, these like strong island proud like Crete is kind of its own island nation too,
Yeah.
So I would be honored either way, to go for Greece or Cyprus. So I'm lucky that there's kind of 2 opportunities in a sense, and we'll see what happens. Whatever happens, happens. But
whatever happens.
Well, this was I don't know, Ari, I don't want to cut you off, but for going into this after this amount of time with you, I mean, we're even more prouder and more amazed at who you are as a person and all your talents and skills, and all your endeavors. And we wish you much success in everything you do. But we always want to ask all of our guests on Connecting Greeks. We ask you some really fun questions before we wrap up the interview to get to know you even more as a Greek.
Great.
All right. And if you've seen our past episodes, sometimes these throw our guests off, but they're very basic, simple questions as a Greek.
Okay.
Evangelia, can you tell us, into our audience, your
Yes.
favorite and least favorite Greek food.
Okay. Favorite, kolokythokeftedes. Least favorite, arni.
Oh,
You're just like a lot of people I know.
and
I
the
can't do
reason
it.
is it
Huh?
flavor, texture, taste?
You know, I can't do gamey meat. I can't do it. I especially can't do lamb. Like, I know it's a sin. I know it's a sin. I'm sorry.
I thought you were going to say that, looking into that little shoot's face is what gets you before you
It is, I'm like, I grew up, these were my friends, and every summer I come back, I'm like, where did he go?
All right. That's so the kolokythokeftedes was a first for us, I think, in our segment, and the arni was a first on the least favorite in our segments, which is cool. We like diversity. And you mentioned, growing up with Yaya, growing up in the Jorio. Were there any sayings from your Yaya, your dad growing up, that still stick with you as being Greek? Any Greek sayings that maybe you remember that you want to share?
Yes, my favorite one, it's kind of more a word than a saying, but kind of feels like a saying, but is meraki. The word meraki is like everything to me. It's part of what inspires me also every day. And it means to put so much soul and love and passion into your work that you leave a part of yourself with it. And there's no direct translation in English. Like, you have to describe it that way. But in Greek, it's just the word meraki. And what I love about it is that it's not just for like art. It's kind of like, you look at life like art. Like my yaya would be like, it's all with meraki. You make the bed with meraki. You present your musafirides, the food, with meraki. Like, whatever you do it with love and give a part of yourself to people. And I really, really love that so much. And I think about that with my music. I'm
so glad that you mentioned that. Out of all the sayings, you're the first to actually present that, but that's actually so deep in our
Two
culture.
for two.
And you know what else is coincidental? I tried to get meraki.com as a domain name years ago, and somebody took it. So I think we should join forces, find this person.
We gotta get
it.
And the last question for you, Evangelia, is, as Greeks in our culture, we have some deep-rooted behaviors, and then we're also big into superstition as Greeks. Is there any superstition that you still live by today?
Yes. I live by the mati. You gotta be protected at all times. I even have here, I have these little like mati pins that I give people that work with me.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
So I give people a little piece of me, and also like, this will protect you from the bad vibes. No, but my yaya would do the prayer to take off the evil eye. It's so weird. It's like, there's no like real way to talk about it in English. It's like take off the evil eye. Because there were so many times in my life where I was just not feeling good, and I wasn't sick, and it was just this weird energy. And my yaya would do her thing, the prayer, with a belt, with one of her belts that she would wrap around, and she would like count it on her palami, on her, what is this called? Palm.
Yeah.
Thank you. On her palm, and it was like with the measurement of like how long the belt after the prayer and all the thing ended up on the palami. She could tell me how Matiasmeni I was, how like bad I had it, and also if it was by a man or a woman.
What?
Really?
Wait a
minute.
Minute.
She was good. Like she even
did
it to me in the US. Like in the US, I remember I was at like a Greek school thing function, and all of a sudden I didn't feel good. And my dad, who doesn't like really like believe in that stuff, but he kind of believes in this because it's just, we've just experienced it. He went and called her, and he was like, Mama, but if nothing to Matias, you have to get the evil eye off. And all of a sudden, I remember I was like, I feel great. All of a sudden, this is weird. And I didn't know. So I'm all about it, guys. Wear your mask. Protect yourselves.
Evangelia, this is interesting. Is your yaya still around?
No, unfortunately.
Okay.
4 years.
God bless her. We were going to say that we'd love to interview her as a guest.
No, that's how it should be amazing. You'd have to speak
That's a
some
superpower.
heavy critica too, you know. She was like,
Oh yeah.
Já daí da
Oh,
Pô,
boy.
e da hora que a Iris, you know, they're all like super Cretan.
I
But yeah,
love
I wish.
it. I love
That's
it.
something I wish. I wish I got more video. I just wish I documented more, but it's all here and we have some good things captured.
Yeah. Just keep her memory eternal, and that's
Yes.
it.
I mean,
That was great. We got to know a little bit more about Evangelia thanks to those 3 questions.
yeah,
Absolutely, yeah. Evangelia, it was such an honor to have you on the show. You're such a talent. You're doing great things, and we hope you continue to do great things. We are all gonna cross our fingers and do whatever we could do to send those vibes for Eurovision and for everything else that you do. We definitely want you to come back. We'll just kind of do like a series as much as we can to keep up with what you're doing. Anytime
you have a little hangs.
Yeah.
This was really fun.
And thank you so much. And we want to thank everybody out there for watching, listening. We're going to put all of Evangelia's information, website, social media on the podcast, on the video. So again, if you already know her, you know the deal. If you don't, check her out. She's doing such cool things, and she brings that Greek vibe, and it sounds so good. And we just love what you're doing, and we appreciate you being with us, and we appreciate everybody out there for watching and listening. And stay tuned for more Evangelia, and you're going to be hearing great things from her. And that's it. We are out. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. It was so fun.
Take care. Bye-bye.